Welcome to Dead Air Live. Tonight we have some very special guests, Kevin Anderton, and he's a filmmaker, and one of his wonderful, wonderful leading actors, Vic Clay. Welcome aboard, gentlemen.
Hi, JoJo. Thanks for having us.
Oh, we're really glad to have you both here. Kevin, you are such a fascinating young man, and I understand that this evening you brought along all these exciting film clips, and Vic's in a couple of them. You're a leading actor, and we want to know everything about you. How did you get involved with filmmaking? Because a lot of us out there want to know, how can we do it? Where do we begin? Tell us about yourself.
Well, I've always been interested in film, and I always thought you couldn't do it. And back in '95, I worked on The Good Son, which was a 20th Century Fox production, as a PA, and I got the bug.
And the PA is?
Production assistant, whatever anyone else doesn't want to do, you get to do.
Oh, okay.
But it was a good experience,
Sure.
and I got the bug, decided to go to film school, got my master's in film from BU, and started making films.
Great. And you have this great story about how it all began for you. You were a young boy with your grandfather. Tell us about that.
Well, my grandparents, they took care of me a lot, and they loved comedy, and we used to watch like the old Bob Hope, Bing Crosby comedies, and like Marx Brothers and stuff like that. And my mom would take us to what I would deem inappropriate movies when we were like 11, 12, and 13.
Inappropriate?
Well, movies I wouldn't take my kids to, but I'm glad she did, because
Well, for example, give me.
The Choir Boys. I think
That was inappropriate?
Yeah, it was banned. But
Really?
we saw it at the Gloucester Drive-In, of all
the
places.
drive-ins. That was a long time ago. Yeah.
You know, you bring your sleeping bag and you stay on
Right.
top of the car and you watch the movies.
So why
and
would your
stuff.
mother bring you to an inappropriate movie?
I just think she thinks kids can handle that sort of stuff.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well-
I learned a lot from it. I mean, we saw Jaws. I think my younger brother was 8,
Oh,
and
wow.
after we saw Jaws, we shared a room, and all night I'd go, dun 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 dun, and he'd run out screaming from the room.
So this is
Great
why
fun.
your films are kind of on the cutting edge, is because the way your mother brought you up.
A little bit, yeah.
Oh, very interesting.
But you know, we would have seen the movies anyways, because you know, you always sneak into the other movies and see them at the theater.
And you have this wonderful gentleman next to you, Vic Clay, and I've known Vic since I was a teenager, and it's just wonderful to see Vic. You have started this career kind of, I won't say midlife, but you decided somewhere in the middle, about the age of what, 40-something?
Wow.
30-something?
All this time they're trying to trick me into saying my age, folks, and now they're doing it again on
Okay.
live TV.
This is it, Vic. Okay, so when did this all begin for you? Because I understand that you are doing great things in a very small period of time. And a lot of people who want to get into acting, they're going to want to say, well, how have you done this? Because when they see you, they're going to go, wow, look what he's doing. Because you're going to be a superstar sooner than later. And tell us what you're doing. All the hard work, because you are doing
It began about 3.5 years ago with my first role, which was an extra in a film. I was contracted to do 2 hours work. The director liked what I did. Long story short, my 2 hours became 2 days, and he wrote lines for me. Following that, I did a play. Rather, I auditioned for a play. I got it, and I noticed some, what I would call, mistakes in it. So I wrote a scene for it, and the authors of the play were also the co-stars of the play.
Wow.
They adopted what I wrote. They let me add a song to my character for comedic effect. And between those first two things, I felt, hey, I can do this. And from that point till now, I have had appearances in 52 films and 12 plays, and mostly leading major roles, plus some commercials and TV and etc.
52 films. And how would you describe, Kevin, how would you describe Vic's work? Because you were talking about it today earlier. And
He's a scene stealer. He really is. He can come in and just be in the movie for just a brief moment, and everyone remembers it. It's really wonderful.
So Vic has that presence.
He does, yeah.
So he's a natural.
He gets it, and it's fun. So, but and you know, we'll keep casting him in stuff, and
Excellent.
s-
And
keep
did you ever
seeing
go
his
to
work.
acting school?
I've had some acting classes now. You know, I went my first year and a half without having any. But what's really interesting is when I started acting, I went to a film festival locally. And I had done, I don't know, maybe 10 films by that point.
Right.
Locally made things that I'm not really impressed with now, not things that I'd be bragging about being in.
Sure.
And at this film festival was one of Kevin's films.
Oh.
And he was a local guy, and
Sure.
I see this film, and for the first time, I look at a film and say, wow, I want to work with that director. And who knows, a couple of years after that, here he is, one of my best friends. I've been in a bunch of his films, and we have stuff in development, and it's going to be going on for a long time.
And I understand that your son, who's how old now?
It's 2.5.
He's 2.5 years old. He kind of is the barometer, the radar. He kind of picks the people that he likes for your films. And I understand that he carries around Vic's picture.
Yeah, he has.
And he goes, Vic, 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 Vic.
He has his headshot, and we'll be driving down the street, and he'll say, Vic Clay, and pick up the cell phone and call Vic and hand it back into the car seat, and he'll talk to Vic for 5 minutes.
Real easy name to remember, folks. Vic Clay. Vic Clay. Remember that name. He's going to be coming live to a cinema near you. But right now, tell us about the first clip that we're going to see.
Okay, well, the first clip is from our news show. It's a lot like the Weekend Update.
Okay, good.
And it's been excised from the rest of the show, so it may feel a little truncated, but it's about the Iraq War, and it's a
Okay.
little commentary on that. So,
Okay.
and it always gets a reaction. Which is,
Okay,
which is
so
nice.
can we check this out? We'd love to see this clip.
A common criticism of the network coverage on the war is that it frequently neglects the views of younger Americans. Some may argue this is a group which often makes the ultimate sacrifice for this country. So, in an attempt to level that bias, let's now go to Nickelodeon kid reporter David Weissman-Smith. Davey? How are things in Baghdad?
Well, there's been a lot of bombs going off for quite some time. It's really scary. There's a lot of noise and bombs and sirens.
Davey? Are you there?
Help me.
Well, there you have it. A young person's view of the situation in Iraq.
I'm speechless. Should I laugh or should I cry?
You have to make up your mind while it's happening.
It made me sad because
It-
I love children.
Well, it's
And you're laughing.
Well, it's my friend's son, so it's always funny to see him on there. But I mean, the thing that it says is that when the war in Iraq started, when the young people would protest or want to speak up about it, they were either kicked out of school or they were told to be quiet. And yet here are the people that actually are going to go to war and fight for this country, but they're not allowed to speak.
That's a very good point.
Yeah.
That's a very good point. So let's set up the next clip, which it's called Nike Kids.
Nike Kids, yeah.
Yeah, tell us about that.
It's a parody of the popular Nike ads of the 80s and 90s. And what it does is it's about, how we sacrifice other people, other kids, other nations to make our shoes that, we pay hundreds of dollars for.
Right.
And, they're making 30 cents. But I think the clip will probably say more about it.
Is this what we call sweatshops?
Yeah.
And wasn't Regis Philbin or Regis Philbin?
It was Kathy Lee.
Yeah, his co-host Kathy Lee.
Yeah.
She got into trouble. Well, she really didn't know, or she said she didn't know.
I'm sure she knew. But I think her son Cody was actually working in the sweatshops.
Get out. All right, so let's check out Nike Kids. I got a feeling we'd have a lot to talk about this one.
Yeah, this played in a lot of festivals, so.
Oh, unbelievable, unbelievable.
No, it's gotta be this.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Slogan is born.
Just do it.
Just do it. Yeah.
Oh, so this is really what happens. Kids
I'm
are
sure.
sweaty. And do you know what it costs for a pair of sneakers? Do you have any idea what it costs for a pair of sneakers?
A couple of $100 for those, right?
No, what we paid them. Do you know? Because I know.
I have no idea.
Yeah, between $5 and $8 a pair.
That's good.
And we pay anywhere from $60 to $150 a pair.
Yeah, that's true.
And this is all we pay those kids. They get paid pennies per hour.
Yeah, kids are adults, yeah.
Now, where do you get your ideas? Where do you find the kids? Tell us about that.
Well, the kids that are in this are, they were rounded up by one of my friends, the basketball kids, and then we did the casting call for the kids for the sweatshop. And the great irony of the Nike Kids one is that it's a movie about exploiting children, and we actually didn't pay the actors to be in it. So in essence, we exploited children to make it.
Now, how much does it cost you to do, your films are anywhere between 30 seconds up to 3 minutes. And what does it cost you per minute on the average?
Well, we're shooting video instead of film, so the average is about $100 a minute.
And who funds your films? Do you put up your own money?
Self-funded, yeah.
Okay.
Usually we split the cost between the writer, the director, and the producer. And then we co-own everything. So.
Which is unusual.
Yeah, but it's handy, especially if you're doing, we've done 30 shorts so far, so it works out pretty nicely. And
this next film is the one that really has gotten a lot of acclaim. It was in the LA Short Film Festival, and this is the one that Vic's in, and he's the showstopper in this film.
I wouldn't say that.
And I would love to see this. This film is about 4 minutes long.
It's 4 minutes without credits. We've taken the credits out of everything here. It's played at the LA Short Film Festival. It was in the Boston Underground Film Festival. They showed it at the Boston Comedy Festival, and at the Attention Deficit Film Festival. And it's screened about 20 times, and each time it just has a great reaction.
Everybody loves it.
No, half the people love it, the other half absolutely hate it.
Do you want to set it up for us and tell us what we're going to be seeing here, or do you want the audience just to look at it?
I think it's better if they just look at it, and we'll chat about it afterwards.
Okay, we'll talk about it afterwards. Okay. All right, great. Okay, here goes.
I'm Timothy LeGrand, host of Cheaters, the television show that helps real-life lovers investigate their wayward partners' suspected infidelities. If you suspect that your significant other might have eyes for another, contact our detectives and get the truth that you deserve. The following segment was captured as part of our short-lived celebrity companion show. After a decade of legal complications and contentious litigation, its broadcast has finally been cleared by the California courts. Please enjoy Celebrity Cheaters.
Yeah, why wouldn't she love me? I'm lovable. I do charity work. Everybody loves me. But when we got divorced, things start to add up. She stopped coming around. I stopped getting a birthday card in the mail. It was never dinner made. I don't think she's cheating on anybody else. Who would cheat on MJ? Look at me. Ladies, who would cheat on me? But you know what? That's why I called you guys, just to find out. And I better not find nobody messing with her.
Our detectives set out immediately to tackle MJ's suspicion, spotting the suspect running a quick out with ex-football stud Marcus Alon. The two suspects then take a time out to enjoy an intimate meal. It quickly became apparent that these two would soon be involved in some intentional contact.
Now, MJ, what our detectives found out might be a little hard to bear.
You know, I've been a detective in movies before. In fact...
I know, MJ, I know. You contacted us because you thought your ex-wife was seeing someone.
Yeah?
The footage we have confirms that.
Yeah?
You know this man, right?
Yeah.
You thought that they were just friends.
What the fuck?
You thought that he was your friend.
That son of a bitch.
Go. Well, our detectives have stalked them out. They're right around the corner. We're coming.
Yeah! Marcus! You punk! The hell are you doing with my woman? Your woman?
Henry, what are you doing?
Yeah, my woman.
Who are these people?
I'm Timmy from Celebrity Cheaters. MJ wants to know why you're here with this person.
I can't believe you brought a camera crew with you.
You know I love you. What are you doing with this chump? I want a fucking Heisman.
I got one too. I got one rushing, y'all.
What about your love for MJ?
We're divorced.
5 more seasons.
What about your children?
Twice as many touchdowns.
Blow me.
Why is there a camera crew in my yard?
Say, where's your Super Bowl ring, bitch?
That's it. Davis as the owner.
Hey, Nicole, you left your sunglasses at
You didn't see nothing. Open up, DC. Open up.
We gotta go. Oh man, my Bruno Magli's are ruined.
I thought that was great. I really did.
They
Poor
love-
Vic, they didn't even give him a chance.
No, they really loved that in L.A. because they lived the OJ thing.
They lived every moment. Where did you find that guy?
It took almost 8 months to find the guy to play OJ.
How many months?
8 months.
8 months?
Yeah.
I mean, he looks so much like him.
And he's not a real actor. Was an aspiring actor. His first
Right.
role came all the way from Waterville, Maine, to come down. James Stiles from NewEnglandCasting.com found him for us. Thank you, James. It was sweet, and did a really nice job.
That was fantastic.
It's a lot of fun.
That was, now how much did this cost? You had to go over budget, more than $100 a minute.
No, we stayed at $100 a minute for that one. It was just, it's longer.
And you got the white card. Do all these people, do they all give you things? I mean, what?
We actually rented the Bronco, and what we did is we shot another film the same day, and we used it in that film as well.
I see.
So we could split the cost between the two films.
Good.
Yeah.
So you are one to really use your resources.
Mm-hmm.
Now tell us the reaction. This was in the LA Short Film Festival. What was the reaction there?
You had a lot of laughter and a lot of, I can't believe this is happening. People were actually surprised when OJ kills Nicole, and when they talked to me afterwards, I'm like, well, it's got the date, and that happened, so what did you expect? And it's weird is because no one laughs when you kill Nicole, and you shouldn't because it isn't funny.
Right.
But then all of a sudden, Ronald Goldman comes in and everyone starts laughing when he gets killed.
Right, it is kind of funny because he doesn't even have a chance. He just comes in and boom, he's gone.
Yeah, so I guess killing Ronald is funny, killing Nicole isn't funny.
No, it's not, yeah, no.
But
great job.
Yeah.
I mean, you could tell there's a lot of work put into this. Now, how does one produce fake blood? Because I saw the blood all, how does that happen in the movies? Is it ketchup?
No, I think they actually have a thing that is fake blood, right?
Hi, David.
Hey.
David Gordon, welcome. We'll introduce David. We have another guest that just walked on the set in between. And we'll talk about David in a second. But how do they produce this fake blood?
They actually have a variety of different ways to make fake blood. Often it's just corn syrup and food coloring.
Oh,
It's
okay.
the cheapest way, from what I understand, for like massive horror movies where there's a lot of blood.
But what do they have? Do they tape little packets underneath
they're
the
called
shirt?
blood packs.
Okay.
And they'll have a way of making them explode. And I'm an animator, so
Oh,
you've
well, thank you.
exhausted my knowledge on
Sure.
how they do blood effects.
We used raspberry and strawberry Kool-Aid mixed together with a pump because we thought since he was slicing her
And where
neck,
was this pump? I've always wondered.
right down below, off camera. Well,
Okay.
one of the things that's really funny there is when the film people emerge with the lights and everything like that, when he walks onto the scene, they were there the whole time. It's just that Nicole and Marcuse didn't know that. They
Right.
didn't see them.
Right.
And that's because like the show on TV is really stupid because you've got these people following them around and they don't even realize that they're being watched. And
Right.
yet you've got lights and cameras and all sorts of stuff going on.
Now, how many cameras, when you do a film shoot, do you usually use?
Usually use one, but on Cheetahs we use two because we wanted to get the TV look and keep the just the natural flow.
And what kind of format do you tape in? Do you use video? Do you use DV tape, which is digital video? Do you use film? What can someone easily get involved with using?
Well, we use mini DV. It's Sony VX2000 is the camera that I prefer to use, but
Okay.
the Canon GLs are nice too. But it's inexpensive in terms of tape, and that's why we can keep it at $100 a minute. Whereas with film, I think it's usually about $400 or $500
Wow.
per minute. Yeah.
And you're promoting right now BostonFilmNight.com.
Right.
Am I correct to say that? Where
Yeah.
anyone can submit a film. It's called BostonFilmNight.com.
Mm-hmm.
And if somebody wants to submit a film, does it have to be a certain length?
The shorter the film, the better the chance you have of having it shown, which is it's for any festival, any
Okay.
screening, because if the block is an hour and a half long, and your film is 45 minutes long, I mean you have to justify taking up half of the time.
Oh, I see, sure.
And what also happens is you'll be displacing at least 6 or 7 other films.
I've got that.
So
yeah.
it's got to be that much better.
So it should be anywhere between 1 minute and 5 minutes long.
Yeah, and 10-minute films are good too. You know, it's nice to have that space. We had this is going to be our second one. Last year we did it August 29th. It was called the End of the Summer Film Festival.
Right, in Arlington at
In
the
Arlington.
Regent Theater, and I heard that was a smashing success.
Yeah, we had about 650 people come.
Really?
Yeah, it was.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, it was
I was one
very
of them.
heartening.
It was
Oh,
a lot
you-
of fun.
Oh, well, everyone, this is Dave Gordon, and you are a teacher at...
Well, I'm a teacher. I'm a continuing ed teacher for Cambridge Center for Adult Ed.
Excellent.
And Boston Center for Adult Ed. And Brookline Center for Adult
And you're an animator,
Ed. I'm an animator and an artist, yeah.
and I understand that you submitted a film in the Dublin Short Film Festival?
I did.
Am I saying that right?
Yep.
And you won an award for...
Best experimental film.
That's unbelievable. And so you're an animator, which means exactly, for people who don't know what animation is, explain animation.
Do you really think there's anybody who doesn't know what animation is?
Well, it's done with computers.
I mean, animation in general doesn't have to be. My
Oh, okay.
animation is, I mean, a lot of, traditionally, it's hand-drawn stuff. My stuff is all done with computers. Most people are used to 3D animation these days. I don't do 3D animation.
What do you do?
I tend to use objects or photographs of things and animate those. The type of animation that most people would be familiar with that would be closest to what I do is that old animation they used to do on Monty Python.
Oh, okay.
Although technology has gotten a lot better, so I'm able to do a much more sophisticated job of it than they were.
So you take an inanimate object, something that's still, you film it, and then you make it move around.
I take an inanimate object and either photograph it or
Yeah.
scan it directly into the computer.
Okay. And how do you make it move? I don't know anything about this. I'm asking you, I'm pretending that I'm a person that knows nothing about animation, but I want to know.
Well, it's magic. No, it's
Thank you. Oh, isn't that easy? It's magic, please.
But I mean, it's basically you go frame by frame. So
Right.
there's 30 frames in every second to film. So I'm working with it one frame at a time, and I'm moving the various elements around in the film in order to create a sense of motion. So all film is actually composed of a series of still images.
Okay.
You know, and they're traveling at such a rate that you can't tell that they're still images. And actually, since I've started animating, I've noticed that the screen credits at the end of the movie, they kind of jerk up the screen in movies. You can actually see the frame rate there. So you can tell it's a series of still images if you look closely.
That's probably because you have the trained eye to see that.
Right, and I think that, you know, it's one of those things that we're all trained to ignore, actually. You know, we are fooled into accepting a series of still images as a series of moving images, which is great that we can do that, you know.
So you actually can create, let's say, certain movements of an inanimate object and reuse it over and over and over again, because
Right.
a lot
well,
of things
to the extent
are.
that that's possible. So if it's a person running, I can do that. So,
Sure.
and in the film that you're going to see of my work, I have an avatar, which is actually a plastic artist model.
Okay.
With jointed arms. And what I did is when I scanned it into the computer, I separated all of its parts in the computer, you know, in Photoshop, and then I reassembled them. So if I want him to type, which is what he does in the movie,
Photoshop is a program
piece of software that's designed for manipulating photos.
used in an Apple computer.
Actually, I use it on a PC, but you can use it on an Apple.
Good.
And what I'll do is in Photoshop, I'll cut it up. Then I'll import it into an piece of animation software. And the one that I use is Macromedia Director, which I'm basically making fun of in this film.
Okay.
And what I'll do is I'll say, take the arm in its two pieces,
Right.
rejoint it in the computer, and then move those pieces in relationship to each other.
Okay.
And that's what creates the motion.
How exciting. Can we check this out?
Please, I'd love it if you would.
Okay, great. And the name of this is?
Director Bugs.
Director Bugs.
Yes, and Director is the software that I use to make it.
Sure. Is this the one that won the award?
It is indeed.
Oh, good. Very good. Okay.
We're not ready for the tape.
Okay, well, we just have to keep talking about it. Is this the only film festival that you've submitted this Director Bugs?
No,
in?
it actually won third place in a Texas film festival.
No kidding.
It's shown in Woods Hole. I'm hoping it's going to show in his film festival. We'll see about
Great.
that.
And what is the criteria? How does one win? How do they select you to be the winner? What is the criteria?
It depends on the film festival. I'm not actually exactly sure how they selected the award in Dublin. I couldn't afford to go. But different film festivals will do different types of awards. Sometimes it's juried. Sometimes the people who pick the original films will decide who the winner is, and sometimes it will be the audience who will pick the film.
Right. I think we're ready. Here we go. Director Bugs, folks.
In the spring of 2001, I worked furiously to complete my most ambitious animated movie to date, Robot Bar. This isn't it. As my film neared completion, my animation program did something it did almost every day, at work and at home. It crashed. This crash was different. Instead of just locking up or shutting down, The program warned me of impending doom, and with its last breath, offered me the chance to redeem that part of my soul that I had invested in my movie since the last time I had saved. I did what anybody would have done. I did what you would have done. I hit save. Like the spawn of some satanic programmer, in the moment of saving, my animation program, Macromedia Director, had eaten my entire movie, rendering it unreadable. Only one course of action was left to me. Only one form of redress. Make another movie. You're in school. You love computers, but you want to be cool. So you think, I'll do some director. All my friends are doing it. Just a little bit of animation. How could it hurt?
Dude, I love Macromedia. They give us a place to live and director. They give us plenty of programmers to fuck with. It's a non-stop bug party, man. Dude, like this one time, man, I tried to get into an Adobe product. Dude, can you believe it? They wouldn't even let me in the door. I was like so glad to get back to director, man.
Say, here's our old friend, critical system failure. You want a drink, system failure?
I need some peace of mind. You need some peace of mind. I need some peace of mind for my dying day. Yeah, well, I need some peace of mind. I'm gonna leave everything behind me, 'cause I need some peace of mind and a place to stay. Let me tell you about it. It was just the other day when you called me on the phone.
I know she used her own voice.
Yes, I did. And it's a completely true story. My first film that I made, which spent a lot of time on, was called Robot Bar, and it offered me the opportunity to save it. You know, the computer announced, hey, I'm going to crash. Would you like to save? Naturally, I said yes. I've never been able to recover the file. Oh. I've still got this gigantic file of the film, and every year or so I'll try and open it, and it still doesn't work.
And how long did it take you to do the animation in this 4-minute flick?
A long, long time,
How
months. I prefer not to know. You know, I mean, just to give you a rough measure of what kind of effort it takes to make a film like this, for industrial animation, they'll charge around $100 a second for lousy animation.
And for good animation?
Could be, I mean, millions. I mean, for something like Disney does. Since I don't do industrial animation.
Millions per second?
Probably not millions per second, but certainly several thousand per second.
So what are we looking at here?
Well, this is a clip from Latex.
Okay, let's check it out. It's on. All right, Latex.
Uh-oh.
We're ready. We're ready for Latex, folks. That's a dog.
Latex is basically, since we're the unconventional marriage state now, Massachusetts, it's a film about unconventional relationships, in that it's kind of a lonely loser guy who he can't get a date. So he buys a blow-up doll, and it rejects him over and over and over again. Winds up getting the house, the car, everything.
The latex doll gets everything?
Yeah.
How does that happen?
Activist judges. It must be.
Where do you come up with these ideas? Do you fall asleep and go off into La La Land?
Well, this was actually David Kornfeld, one of my partners that we do stuff in. This was actually his idea, and we originally had made it as a silent film during my BU program.
Does he have a latex doll?
I can't speak for him on that.
I bet he does.
It's highly possible, but I
could
can't
be.
mention that. Yeah, we had a fun time with it because
I'm sure you did.
we had the package with the doll in it, which is it's a picture of like some sort of porn star, and it says, you know, love doll or something like that. And well, I tried to throw the box away at his house when we were shooting, and he's like, I'm not putting it out in my trash because people think, well, I have one. So he came over my house one day, and he left, and when I was walking him out the door, I noticed he had put the doll next to my door. So I mailed him the box.
You're mean.
To his work.
You're a prankster. Did he get fired?
Well, he owns the business, but he claims he never got it, but.
Now, what did that doll cost you?
Let's see, the doll.
Was that in the budget?
It actually was, yeah. The doll was, it was probably like $60 for that doll, and we had, there's 2 other dolls in the movie as well, and we're actually going to use them in, we're doing the sequel to Latex, which is going to be the Kobe Bryant story, all told through blow-up dolls. So.
You are one crazy dude.
Yeah.
All right, so let's set up the next one, which is Pick It, Get Ticket.
Yeah, which is Massachusetts has the Click It, Get Ticket campaign
right.
that is now national. And we shot this about, must be about a year and a half ago, and it's basically when it was a radio campaign. And I said to myself, well, I want to do a parody of it, in that, you know, there's all this talk about, well, you want to be safe, you need to, you know, buckle up, and also they don't want you using your cell phone while you're driving. And I was like, well, there's other things too. There's people who do makeup while they drive. That's not against the law. And people who eat while they drive, and that's certainly dangerous too.
This isn't about people picking their nose, is it?
Well,
it is!
Let's run the clip.
Oh my God! Oh, I can't believe you're going there.
This is one of my favorite films of his, actually.
Did you have anything to do with this film, David Gordon?
No, actually, none whatsoever.
Yeah,
but I've seen it.
This is a guy thing. Guys are into stuff like this. Okay, let's see it. Pick it, get ticket.
I didn't have time to do it at home, so I thought I'd just do it on the way. It's really not that big of a deal.
Sure, I've seen it. Who hasn't? People driving along and just doing it. I didn't think it was that dangerous.
It's not like I do it all the time. It's... When's this government intrusion on my private life going to end? I should do it just for the sake of protest.
Highway surveys show that 1 in 5 accidents are caused by drivers picking their noses while operating a motor vehicle. To help prevent such tragedies, Massachusetts has adopted a tough, no-pick policy.
Pick it, get ticket. It's not just the law. It's disgusting.
To report a violation, call 1-800-8-BOOGER now.
That's great!
Well, the thing that is...
That is great!
Thank you.
Slap me 5! Yeah, that was very cool.
The thing that's funny though is that originally I heard the radio ad, and I said to myself, well, how would they shoot this? And so we shot it, and then a year and a half later, they shot it as a PSA, and it's the exact same thing as mine. So not that they saw it, but they're so boring and predictable that you can pretty shoot stuff. You never know. I actually contacted them to see if I could get a copy of it, and I guess the guy did a Google search on me, and he wouldn't send it, you know. So.
Right.
Have you thought about suing them for copyright violation?
That'd be interesting, wouldn't it?
It would certainly get you a lot of attention for your film.
It would definitely get you attention.
Yeah.
It could be something that if they could just create another law, and you would be the reason for
They
it.
could name Mitt Romney in the lawsuit, and maybe he's got deep pockets.
You wouldn't.
Spoil
Kerry,
his,
too.
Spoil his presidential
Oh,
run.
my God.
Well, naturally, I have to blame Clinton on everything. So.
You really like to take things to the top.
Sure, why not?
The razor's edge.
Yeah.
Mask. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I think for that film, one of the things that makes it work is that he doesn't go over the top. I mean, it's not like a Beavis and Butthead style. I mean, he could have shot it so that in every scene you see someone picking their nose. And it's the fact that it's so understated that makes it work.
Thanks.
All right, that's a good point. I like the idea that you have the police officer, here he is telling everyone, pick it, a ticket, and he himself is guilty. Very good.
Lawmakers are usually the people that are violating the laws.
Well, not always, but. Okay, well, Mask
Mask
of the Ninja.
Mask of the Ninja it's actually one of my favorites, and it was a lot of fun to make, and we had to do some fight choreography. It was very collaborative with the lead actress and all the ninjas, and with the DP and myself. We just basically sat down, mapped it out, really rehearsed it well.
DP
and
means
director of photography. Yeah, and then we actually shot it in Somerville, and the funny thing is that we found a place that was totally out of the way, that no one would notice on an early Sunday morning. Figured we could shoot it in about 4 hours. I went there 3 Sundays in a row, desolate. We go there the morning we're going to shoot it. There's a N-Star truck with a police car right in the middle of the location.
Okay, so what'd you tell him?
Get
out of here?
The AD actually went up and said, do you mind if we shoot a film over here? And they're like,
And
"We
the
didn't
AD
care."
means?
Assistant director.
Thank you.
And they were just, we don't care, do whatever you want to do. So we didn't have to move, which would have been a disaster, because it's the perfect location for the film.
One of the problems with filming is that doing all sorts of activities that you could normally just do, as soon as you pull out a camera, somehow people care,
Because they feel that you're important, and everybody wants their.
Well, for cities, it's because they can charge for using site location. They can charge.
Can?
Yeah, yeah. Like if you want to shoot something on a street, they'll definitely charge you for it if they can get away with it.
Are you kidding me? Someone can come up and say, "Give me some money."
The city can prevent you from filming.
No kidding.
Yeah, I actually wanted to shoot a scene on a park bench down on the Esplanade, and they wanted $1,500 to shoot it, and it would have taken me about 15 minutes.
And what did you tell them?
I told them we'll go find a different place to shoot it.
And you did?
We did, yeah. But
that doesn't fit in your budget.
No. And it's one of those things where people have either two reactions when you're making a film. Either they're fascinated and they'll do anything to help you, which is the norm. It's like 80% of the people are like that. And the other 20% are handout or, how can I benefit from this somehow? And you just have to, find, the cool people to do stuff with.
Weddings are the other thing they get you for. If it seems like there's no place you can have a wedding for free.
Yeah. Just try to do that just once.
You mean if you just want to get married like in a
Yeah,
park?
they charge you to get married in most parks.
This is all new to me.
Yeah, I think we got married in a park in Manchester. I think they charged us $50, but I'll tell you, it was the best $50 I ever spent. So.
Great.
Yeah.
All right, so Mask of the Ninja.
Mask of the Ninja.
收到，他不是我的对手。
快快脆脆將啲儀器搬走，呢啲儀器唔可以俾其他啲人攞咗啊！9號，你影咗印未啊？你唔可以失敗啊！呢個係全個世界都靠住你噶啦。
我必須走了。9號通話完畢。6 个、7个、8个，情况有变。
唔好打我啊！嚇，唔好開槍打我啊！佢攞咗啊！做乜鬼啊？開槍打我！佢去咗邊度啊？唔見佢啊！唔好開槍打我啊！乜鬼啊？
次次成功。
我唔係佢啊！
Really shows that men are weak. Really.
Or
So-
I'm trying to keep up with the Chinese, I guess. I think it's ironic that it's a Chinese agent and it's trying to save the free world.
Right. Oh, that was good.
Yeah.
That was good. I like that. So how do our young filmmakers, how do they get involved? I mean, how does it happen for them? Like, you're an animator, and you started at what age? I don't know, very young age, I'm sure, animating.
Oh, not at all.
No.
Mid to late 20s. Took a class. I got a job. I was doing Photoshop stuff. Got a job for a professor at Harvard who wanted me to make animations for his class. I mean, for to biostatistics, in fact. And he had me take a class, and he paid for it. And then I just started animating from that. The kids in that film, actually, that are in my film that were in the classroom were actually my interns for that job.
But you know how kids would say, geez, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do animation, I want to get into films, and they're afraid to take the first step. I don't know where I can get a camera. Where do they go? I'm asking you. I know the answer, but I want you to tell them because you are the filmmaker.
Well, I mean, the thing is that we use a mini DV camera. I mean, my camera was probably $3,500 or something like that. But you can use anything. You can use an old VHS camera. You can use. I mean, camcorders are readily available, and just start shooting stuff and start planning and thinking and writing, and read some books about how it all works.
Reading books
And
writing down your ideas.
Yeah, or what I've had a bunch of people who have contacted me who've come and worked as, say, an intern for me, and they've wound up shooting their own stuff later on because
And what's
they've
the name
learned
of your
stuff.
company? It's called Midnight Chimes?
Midnight Chimes Productions, yeah, it's actually named after.
Midnight Chimes Productions. Does everyone have that? Midnight Chimes Productions.com. If you want to help Kevin Anderton, and work as an intern, would you say?
Intern PA. I mean, we've had people that started as a PA and they've wound up directing stuff.
Great.
It's all a matter of ability.
Sure, or they can go to their local community access stations. They can take classes for a relatively small amount of money, $30-40 a year, and learn everything about cameras. Get cameras basically for free. Lighting equipment, learn how to use it, go out in the field, and take pictures.
But the most important thing is to be able to tell a story.
Right.
And to tell it effectively. And the first things that you do are not always the best, and you learn from there.
Practice, practice, practice.
Can't emphasize story enough. I mean, the reason I got involved in doing stuff for film festivals is that I went and saw beautiful animation at lots of different film festivals, and the stories just didn't work. And I went, I can do better than that. I mean, you can do really pretty poor quality craftsmanship, and if you've got a story and you're able to tell the story well, you can make a very successful film.
So it has to have a beginning, a middle, and an end, and it's got to flow.
Yeah, unless it's just, sometimes the best films are you know, a lot of 1 minute stuff is just a punchline. You know, set up, punchline, and out.
Well, when advertisers show their commercials, I mean, they've got to be in and out in a very quick span of time.
Yeah.
They got to say it all, so if they can do it in 15 seconds, people can really tell a short story in a minute or less.
Right.
So what's our next film clip about? It's called Hand Gestures?
Hand Gestures. It's actually,
Gestures.
it was our entry into the MoveOn.org's.
Is it gestures or
gestures?
Gestures, like
Yeah.
the gestures with the...
Yeah, it's a play on words. And it was our entry into the Bush in 30 Seconds contest, and we were censored. They rejected it.
Really?
Yeah, and then they went on to actually complain about how they were censored by CBS because they wouldn't allow them to show the winner. So if you run the clip, I think you'll see why.
Okay.
We sent it in knowing it would get rejected, but...
Did it even go up on the site, or
No.
not even, no one saw it?
No, they told us, take it somewhere else. I don't think they liked our message either, so.
Okay, okay.
The Bush administration's tax cuts for the wealthy have left America's social programs devastated. Our new outreach program aims to fund those programs and lift the spirit of Americans. The poor have been jerked around enough. Be a true patriot and visit your local center and give. Oh, third time today, Mr. President. It's not a handout, it's a hand job.
And my thinking on that was that everyone likes to blame Bush. It's, you know, and there's a lot of blame for George Bush right now, but there's blame for other people as well. And I think, you know, Jimmy Carter went out after he finished. You know, he was reviled as a president, and he went out and he's been the most gracious ex-president.
Right.
He's done so much great work for charity with his Habitats for Humanities. I thought, well, what would Bill Clinton do when he's done? And it's basically he would go and set up centers that gave hand jobs for $20 and use that money to feed the poor. And so they didn't like that much because they really wanted you to attack Bush. But it's, you know, it's just not Bush. You know, he can't do it on his own. You know?
Well, you have it going on. Okay, so finally, our last film is called Possessive Rock.
Yeah, it's it was inspired by Al and Tipper Gore, and when they led the campaign on labeling records and violent lyrics, and how they affect our kids, and how, you know, we need to save kids from you know, swears in music and that sort of thing. And well, what we thought is that well, there's a lot of adult-on-adult violence. And where does that come from, especially, you know, battering and stuff?
Mhm.
And we did some research and we figured it out. And
It's all here.
It's all here.
Okay.
This will explain why there's batterers.
Sure. Oh, this is good. I'm looking forward to this.
Not just a filmmaker, also a sociologist.
Yes. All right.
Just say goodnight, because we're out of time.
Oh, we're out of time.
Oh.
Oh.
Remember when love really meant forever? And love songs used to capture that special feeling. Now, you can get all those great songs on one album. Whether it was courting to this one, or slow dancing to this great wedding tune.
These songs helped express your feelings when your words couldn't.
Hi, Beth, it's Kim. Hope your date went well. It must be nice to finally get free from that creep, Tony. Hey.
Message deleted. End of messages.